And so human augmented is extremely important. And that's why I push forward in any digital transformation process. Say we're putting together tools, but the tools are really the last leg of the process. First leg, as I mentioned, is drivers, it's employee change management. And then after that, it's based on all these, gradually including tools that are going to augment my performance, right? Because I don't remember, because I forget, because I have so much in my mind, and suddenly, having a CRM saying, oh, by the way, call this guy today because that's his anniversary, and I'm sure you will appreciate it. I'm augmented, right? I'm not replaced because I'm the one who has the contact with the guy. And that's what's important. And we'll talk about AI and AI as a service when we talk about trends. But this is what digital transformation is all about. It's about people number one. And this I always and sometimes some CEO feel that my comment is strange, because when we talk about digital transformation, the first word is digital. So they think we implement a tool, but digital transformation is really mainly about people and ensuring that people are going to perform still using tools. So that's my second point.
Yep.
And my last point, and if I talk too much, you tell me, because I'm passionate, as you can tell, about my subject.
This is what we do here in SaugaTalks. Exactly. Passionate people talking about topics important to them. Sure.
And so, in the third point, after you've done the drivers, you've done the process, the third point, you look at technology. And this is where we can enter into a little bit of detail. The technology that I push forward the first is always, in general, a technology that is now becoming more common, but that companies have not started yet, and it's big data. Because everything that I'm going to talk about in terms of trends is based on data. Data is the key of everything today. So you need to have a possibility of collecting everything coming from emails, videos, photos, CRM, any tool that you're going to be using, Excel, Word, again, anything. And of course, all these tools that we've been using for years, they are working today in silos, right? Yes, of course, if you use Microsoft Office, your email can be linked to Word, can be linked to Excel and everything, but it's one thing. Your videos, your photos, your CRMs, everything is different. So having a big data strategy allows you to have a database that will allow you to have a lot of volume, velocity, variety as well of data. It's ensuring that at least you have a place where you can collect, you can analyze, and you can organize. That's number one for me of the digital transformation solution. In general, some companies already have that strategy in place, and they have big databases, NoSQL type of databases, not only SQL type of databases, and we work after that on looking at how, for example, if they want predictive data, then how can we put together an artificially intelligent model? So working with data scientists, right? So what I see today is some companies are ready for that, but some companies are a bit scared, thinking, oh yeah, what am I going to do with AI? Why AI? So if I'm in e-health, AI is very important because AI will predict for patients, for example, if they have diabetes, it will predict the glycemia, it will predict if you're in hyperglycemia, hypoglycemia, if you're going to have a coma, if you're going to be, what kind of problems you can have, because diabetes encompasses quite a lot of problems. But that's just one example. And so what I suggest companies to do today, rather than being scared of saying, okay, we're going to start AI, AI, wow, big word. But you also have AI as a service, meaning you only use models for artificial intelligence for just what you need. It's like the cloud, cloud is also extremely important. Big data, cloud, AI, everything goes together. Why is cloud so important? Is because your business today is, with some data, but maybe 10 days down the line, you have something huge happening, and it's going to be times 10, times 100, times 1,000. If your servers don't allow that, and or if you want to open an office anywhere in the world, with cloud, you can just choose for example, if you use Amazon Web Services or Google, you just use the geography where you want your data to be, and you click on it, and in about 10 minutes, it's done, right? A little bit more sometimes, but that's the marketing thing around it. So, what's important to understand that when you start talking about trends, and I'll continue about trends, but I don't want people to think that it's a revolution. It's not at all a revolution. It's an evolution, meaning that we have tools available today that will allow us to continue our business and to ensure that our business is successful in the years to come. 5G is the same thing. I see the trend, and people are very scared of 5G. It was the same way when we launched 3G. I was at Sony at the time, or when we launched 4G, and now that we're launching 5G. It's new, so it's scary, right? And you have a lot of people explaining things that are not true about 5G, but 5G, again, is not a revolution, it's an evolution. Would you go back to looking at a TV today or at a VCR today? You remember those VCR with the cassettes?
Really?
And the quality was at the time was fantastic because we didn't know anything else. But today, compared to 4K or 8K, it's unbelievable. So why would you have a mobile phone that will allow you to look at something like VCR quality when you can have a 5G looking at 4K or 8K, and so still what you're used to on a daily basis, right? So technology and our lives are evolving. So around it, architecture of technology needs to evolve, and that's why we have 5G. Once you have your big data strategy, obviously you can start working on extended reality, mixed reality, augmented reality, virtual reality. Obviously, mixed reality encompasses all these, but it's better for training. You're looking for engagement, right? We can talk about gamification, but that will be there for another 3 hours. So I think I'm going to be very careful.
I have time.
Gamification is all about engagement. But once you start being fun, and once you start having, like for example, surgeons in e-health, again, surgeons trying to get trained on operating on a brain, the most complicated operation that exists today, brain operation. Well, now they can train with AR, augmented reality. So, they have robots that can be more precise than your hands because your hands always shake or anything. And they can see also with virtual reality and augmented reality how the brain and how your skull basically is built. That's something that's unbelievable. So, and again, you don't want to have everything done at the same time. What you want is start with your big data strategy, then you have all the data coming from everywhere, and then you can decide, maybe this year, I'm going to implement all my virtual reality projects. That's one thing. Then you can say, maybe this year I'm going to implement my robotic things. We talked about robots. They've been around for a long time, but robots, you're going to see them more and more. Industrial robots, and again, robots augmenting people, robots that can do all the mundane work that people don't like to do. Agriculture, you can have robots that are going to pick the weeds. I'm sure you talk to a farmer, that's the last thing he wants to do in the morning when he wakes up, say, oh, today I have to pick the weeds. If you have a robot with GPS that can really tell where the weeds are and picked it up, that's human augmented, because what is the farmer going to do? He's going to focus on the job that he likes to do, that is going to bring more money to him, whilst a robot will do the job he doesn't like to do. So that's, we can talk also about 3D printing. I see a lot of companies telling me now, I want to implement 3D printing. 3D printing is improving tremendously. A year ago even, it was expensive, it was complicated to put in place. Now, you can go and buy a 3D printer, you can go and buy the material that you put inside the printer. It's very simple, and you can print anything from keychains or houses or boats. I've seen some films that are just absolutely unbelievable. Um, IoT is something that also I see, Internet of Things, connected objects. We talked about 5G. 5G will allow objects, many more objects to be connected than we have seen today. That today you have more objects connected than human connected. Well, 5G is going to be also will help to get more objects, and meaning that at least our life is going to be less complex. For example, you go on holiday and you want to make sure that at least your plants still have water. Well, you have a sensor inside the dirt that will send to your cell phone saying, it's becoming a bit dry here, and you use your cell phone and you get water inside. I mean, it's just an example, but you see what I mean. This is also a trend that you can see. And the last one that I wanted to discuss, and I hope I'm okay in terms of time, it's computer vision, because we see that also more and more. And a lot of my customers ask me also what kind of technology they can put in place, not only for security, but also face recognition in order to allow certain people in the company to access certain areas of the company. The vision that we can see today, the fact that you and I, you in Connecticut, me in France, with the quality that we see today using Zoom, it's just becoming absolutely superb. And that also is something that companies can put in place. So that's, in a nutshell, in about half an hour, I think I've been talking, or a little bit more. It's about digital transformation. It's the drivers, it's a process, and it's a technology. And then it's a la carte. You're at the restaurant. What do you want to start with? And what do you want to finish with? And that's why I always try
I'm sold. I'm sold, Nicolas. You know what? I hope a lot of companies over there, listening to this. Absolutely. So this is pretty concise. 30 minutes is nothing, because again, like, this is a really big talk. So